Every company in the world wants to increase their name recognition. After all, people can't buy products from you if they don't know you exist. However, sometimes companies' marketing stunts are so absurd, so questionable, that it leads us to think that there might actually be such a thing as bad publicity. In the video today, we're looking at 10 publicity stunts that were not harmful, but certainly were very silly. Number 10. PETA tries to rename fish sea kittens. PETA is well known for taking things too far and using tactics that many would find extremely objectionable. From throwing fake blood on people wearing fur coats to telling kids their parents are murderers, nothing is beyond the pale for them. However, one of the most hilariously unsuccessful PETA campaigns was an attempt to get people to stop eating fish. The plan was to rename fish sea kittens to give them a cuter appeal. PETA figured out that kittens are cute and you wouldn't want to eat them, so if they named fish after kittens, it would have the same appeal. Unfortunately, no amount of words can make a slimy, wet fish cute, and it never caught on, even among vegetarians. The campaign didn't just fail, though. It left PETA looking extremely foolish, which is a difficult bar for them to reach at this point. Amazingly, though, they do keep managing to top themselves. Number 9. Balloon Boy Hoax. We all heard the story of Balloon Boy. Supposedly a small child had gone up in a weather balloon of some sort, and a huge manhunt and a media circus began. The kid was found upstairs in the family's attic and let slip that the whole thing had been a hoax when talking to the media. It turns out that the boy's father wanted a reality show for his family, and he was hoping to use it as a springboard. Due to the bad publicity, he never got his reality show, but he has not given up. His children have now started a metal band and hope to one day tour with Metallica. Their father's reasoning is that he believes in encouraging his boys to take part in hobbies that will give them some sort of tangible benefit, and by them, he means him. Number 8. Burger King pulls prank on customers, telling them the Whopper is off the menu. It's not exactly abnormal for Burger King to do stupid stunts for publicity, but this one was pretty much a slap in the face to their most loyal customers. Burger King wanted to see what would happen if people thought their most popular burger, the Whopper, was taken off the menu for a day. They filmed people with hidden cameras and found that many people became very upset at the thought of losing the Whopper. The results of this cruel experiment were used on television commercials to show just how popular the burger is. While Burger King should have lost customers for being total jerks, it turns out that it actually boosted their sales. It seems that you can treat your customers like swine as long as you provide them with greasy, cheesy goodness. Number 7. Starbucks fiscal cliff marketing stunt. Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz is famous for sticking his nose into politics and pretending that he knows what he's talking about. He's the type that says everything would be great if the two political parties would just get along and be bipartisan, as if that actually means anything of substance. As the fiscal cliff crisis ramped up a few years ago, he put together an extremely misguided plan to get publicity for his company. Baristas in Washington, D.C. were told to write the phrase "come together" on every single cup that they gave out to a customer. Perhaps it wasn't a publicity stunt. Maybe he really believed that a few politicians would receive cups with this message and their hearts would be moved. This leaves us with one of two options. Schultz is either incredibly naive or he's just really bad at marketing. Scratch that. He's probably both. Number 6. Oprah's famous car giveaway. Unless you live under a rock somewhere in the wastelands of North Dakota, you've probably heard of Oprah's famous car giveaway. She screamed wildly and told everyone in the audience that they were getting a new car. It greatly increased her popularity because, who wouldn't like someone who's that generous? But it turns out she didn't actually pay a dime for those cars. The whole thing was a marketing scheme dreamed up by Pontiac, who ended up spending almost $8 million to pay for the whole thing. To make matters worse for them, Oprah didn't even mention the car's name, and Pontiac went out of business not that long after. But at least her audience got their cars free of charge, right? Well, no. It turns out that because it was a gift, the audience members were left footing a huge tax bill for their new cars, and by huge, we mean several $1,000s. If you are so hard up for cash that you desperately need a free car, you're probably not going to be able to afford that bill. Number 5. Burger King's subservient chicken. Burger King makes it onto this list twice because we can't just get enough of their crazy shenanigans. A while back, there was a site called subservientchicken.com where you could type in commands and a guy in a chicken suit would act them out for you. The most bizarre thing about this whole promotion was that you had to do a ton of digging to even realize that it had anything to do with Burger King at all. We all are wondering what Burger King was thinking here. It was an interesting diversion, but it was also pretty creepy, and with their name not attached to it, they'd hardly get any benefit for their restaurant. Number 4. Denny's opens a wedding chapel/restaurant in Vegas. Denny's is probably the most famous diner chain in the United States, which is not really anything to be proud of. The restaurant chain clearly didn't have a bad enough reputation, so after probably having a lot of drug-induced marketing sessions, they decided the best thing to do was make their image worse and create a wedding chapel diner combination. This monstrosity had a photo booth, a full bar, the latter of which would sound good if it wasn't for the fact that you'd be mixing it with Denny's fine cuisine. There really isn't a much worse existential nightmare than waking up with a hangover, throwing up greasy food, and realizing as you stare soullessly into the mirror that you just got married at a diner to a woman who you've never met. Number 3. Colorado Brewery creates bull testicle flavored beer. People all over the world love alcohol, and beer is one of the most popular ways of preparing it. There are thousands of beers in the world, a wealth of options to choose from. One Colorado brewery decided that there weren't enough options for them and they needed something unique, something that really fit their style. After pondering a while, they made a new brew that had some fairly innocuous flavors like barley and hops, which wouldn't sound so bad until they decided to make it taste like bull testicles. Out of all the unique beer flavors they could have created, it's anyone's guess as to why they went with testicle flavor. And equally mysterious is, out of all the animals in nature, why did they choose the bull? We'd ask ourselves, but the prospect of talking to these psychopaths is just a little bit terrifying. Number 2. Brewdog launches a performance-enhancing ale with doping drugs in it. Brewdog, another insane beer company, had a serious problem with the Olympics. In particular, they seemed to dislike all the hype and sponsorship deals, so they decided to make a statement and stick it to the Olympics good. Just in time for the last Olympic Games, they made a beer that was chock full of things that Olympic athletes were not allowed to have, substances that would get them kicked out. While some of these are just natural compounds like ginkgo, they also put real steroids in their beer. We're not really sure how they planned on taking down the corporate money machine that is the Olympic Games by creating a beer full of substances banned for athletes, but it probably did get them some publicity, and, well, we're pretty sure that that was the point. Number 1. Taco Bell creates custom Speedo for a teenager. A kid on a high school swim team ate at Taco Bell several times per week, presumably because he hates himself and is making up for past sins. The kid decided that if he was going to go to Taco Bell all the time and he was an athlete, he should find a way to get something out of it. The boy took his entrepreneurial spirit to social media and asked Taco Bell to make him a custom Speedo with the phrase, "think outside the bun," which is totally not an inappropriate phrase for a large corporation to be emblazoning on a garment that will be on the backside of a minor. Taco Bell not only agreed to his request, but gifted him with a second Speedo as well, proving that bad judgment is not exclusive to drunken family members at holiday gatherings, but can also extend to major corporations with PR firms. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell when you do so you find out when we put out new videos. Also, why not check out another channel I do called Biographics, biographies of notable people from the present day and the past. That is linked to below. And as always, thank you for watching.